That's why they call me bad company. I can't deny.
All right, welcome to the W2W review. I am the Oakland Knight, and unfortunately today I will be running solo. We're having some technical difficulties with our internet. We use the internet quite a bit over the last week, and so today I will be running solo. So everybody, welcome to the W2W review. This is Monday, the day after. It's Raider Monday. It's a victory Monday. We defeated the Carolina Panthers 35-32 yesterday. Before we get started in on that, I need to again address a fallen member of the Raider Nation. Thoughts and prayers continue to go out for Tim Casto and his family. As you all know by now, Tim Casto went home to the Lord yesterday at 4:45 Eastern Time. His wife Karen, his daughter Brianna, send all their love and best wishes and thank yous to everybody that supported her over the last week with all their prayers, their donations, and thoughtful words that were left on the Oakland Raider homeport page. So if you're not yet like the Oakland Raider homeport page on Facebook, we ask that you go over there and like that page, as well as the GoFundMe link is still on that page. And we ask to, if it's in your heart and in your will and your ability, to continue to donate to that GoFundMe account. Now it's we're in the process of raising money to make sure not only that the family is secure and get the things that they need, but now, unfortunately, we need to put our brother to rest. So any more love and support that we could give to the family would be highly appreciated by the family, by the Raider Nation in general. I mean, I've been really inspired this week by the love and support that the Raider Nation has shown the family. The integrity's there. This is why we're the best fan base in the league. And I personally thank everybody, not only for helping out the family, but for inspiring me and coming back down to reality of what the Raider Nation stands for, what the great Al Davis built within this fan base. So once again, thoughts and prayers to our fallen brother, Tim Casto. And much love and prayers to Karen and Brianna as they go through their tough time. So once again, Oakland Raider homeport page on Facebook. There's a GoFundMe link there where you guys could donate. There's a memorial type link there where you guys could leave some prayers, some good thoughts, and well wishes to the family. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and get into yesterday's game. What an amazing game. I'm going to start offensively here, because what we saw yesterday offensively was the reason why we're the most dominating offense, in my opinion. And I may be a little biased, and that's okay. I have no problem being biased as a Raider fan, but we are the most feared and dominant offense in the NFL right now. We can attack you from all angles. And there is no question in my mind that Derek Carr is literally the heart and soul, the thing that really gets this thing ticking. Not only on offense, just the team in whole, defensively as well. Derek Carr is the leader of this football team. When he went down yesterday, the second play of the third quarter, you just felt the air not only go out of the stadium, but just the whole mentality of this football team just drop. Now, I know they're probably taught to be professional, and no matter what happens, guys fall all the time. And when we saw DJ Hayden go out, we saw Emerson wasn't playing, Perry Riley wasn't playing. You know, we've lost Meadowleg Watson. We had Latavius Murray out for a few games. The game must go on. Next man up. Let's go out there and let's fight. But when you lose a guy like Derek Carr, and even though it was short term, you just know in the back of every player's head on that football team and on that sideline, you know, the report was that Carr was screaming in pain, and they didn't know what was going on, how severe the injury was. And you really saw the game take a turn at that point. You know, up until that point, up until that fumbled snap and the dislocated finger, we were literally dominating this football game. And it just shows you the parity of the NFL, how one player can affect a football game. There was the fumble snap with the dislocated finger, and then he comes back with the glove. I mean, if you were watching that game and you heard the crowd when he came out of that tunnel, I mean, it was just it was just tremendous. It was amazing. And then he came back in, and he had to find his way again, right? He had to get back in rhythm. And that was difficult to do. I mean, I'm sure he was in pain still. I'm sure they gave him something for the pain, but I mean, he had to really get his rhythm back, get into the flow of the football game. And in that process, he throws an interception. Now, the interception, it's been, I've talked about it yesterday. It had nothing to do with his finger. It was just a bad decision on Derek Carr. However, he was dealing with this pain, and he was trying to find the rhythm, and he was trying to get the team momentum back. So maybe he was pressing a little bit. That's fine. But the thing that stands out to me the most, Raider Nation, is this guy's composure. It never changes. Doesn't matter what's going on in the game, how much we struggle, or how much any obstacle that we have to deal with. This guy never stops fighting, never stops believing. We talked a lot yesterday about his faith and his family, and then football, and how all that combines together. It's just an amazing thing to watch. We've seen it all season long, and in a time where we found ourselves down. I mean, we found ourselves down. We had a 17-point lead, and we were down and out. And this guy comes back with an injured finger and really binds this team back together, gets their composure back, and fights to take the lead and win the football game. And he did it all out of the shotgun once he came back. You have to keep in mind that he's a shotgun quarterback. We know that. I mean, that's one of his strengths, is playing out of the shotgun. But when you have to play shotgun the whole time, it really limits your offense. It totally limits. It really affects our running game the most. We know that. We talk about it here all the time. It's not the easiest thing to do to run out of the shotgun. We got some players that could do that. D. Wiggle, we got Jalen Richard. Those guys do really well out of the shotgun. Latavius Murray, on the other hand, does not fare well out of the shotgun. But I think the whole team just rallies together, and they didn't let that affect them either. I mean, the heart and the fight of this football team is like no other. It's a great thing to watch, and we've watched it over the course of 11 games now, and I never stop being amazed. Over the course of the season, we had the 2 hiccups against the Atlanta Falcons, as well as the Kansas City Chiefs at home in some wet, rainy weather. But my goodness, this team never stops amazing me. What about the play of Michael Crabtree as well? I mean, limited in practice all week, bum ankle. He's had a couple of bad games, and he comes and just continues to make plays. He makes plays. That catch down the field over the linebacker, yes, it was against a linebacker, but I mean, here's the quarterback once again with a bum finger, launching it down the field, and Crabtree comes down with the catch. It was just the momentum switched right there. That was the momentum play for me that really gave us the lead. We talk a lot about the culture of this football team, what Reggie McKenzie's been able to do, what Jack Del Rio's been able to do with his coaching staff and build the culture and the spirit around this football team. And I've been talking already this far about what Derek Carr brings to the table and how he's the heart and soul of this football team. But it never stops amazing me the way that this team plays for one another, and especially their quarterback. And it's something that we've waited 13 years to see. And now that we have our first winning season in 13 years since 2002, it was well worth the wait. Sometimes, you have to be down to appreciate the upside, So with that all being said, you guys, this offense to me, like I've said, is the best offense in the league. If you're a defensive coordinator, you're one of the defensive coordinators, the other 31 defensive coordinators in the league, you have to fear the Raiders. They can attack from all over the field. They were able to come back in that game, like I said, out of primarily, and not primarily, that's all we could do is run shotgun the whole time. It totally limited our offense, and we were still able to go through that Carolina Panthers defense and take the lead. So again, shout out to this organization. Shout out to Reggie McKenzie, Jack Del Rio, Bill Musgrave, Ken Norton, the whole entire coaching staff for really changing the culture of this football team and getting this team to believe in itself. And it's just been a remarkable season. Derek Carr is going to have some struggles here in this week, and we have to be prepared for that. We'll get into a lot more of that as the week goes on, as we start preparing for the Buffalo Bills. But he's going to have some struggles this week taking the ball from under center still. I mean, his finger's going to be sore. In order for us to be more effective, I do believe that he'll be fine. He's a quick healer. He's a tough guy. We can't really, essentially. I hope we don't have to see too much of the shotgun base against Buffalo, but Derek Carr's toughness, his heart, we're going to be just fine. We got plenty of weapons. And just to think that this running game, as good as it is at times, we're up there in the league with rushing numbers, but we haven't really seen a consistent running game from this football team. So what we're able to do on offense without a power running game, consistent power running game, should even scare people more, man, because eventually this running game is going to become consistent and dominant, and that's what's going to set us apart from the rest of the league. I mean, we already are set apart from the rest of the league offensively, in my opinion. There's a lot of good teams out there. There's a lot of good offenses out there. But this Raider team, man, they're never down. They're never out. They can strike at any time, regardless of what your defensive formation is. It's just an exciting time to be a Raider fan. Moving forward now into Buffalo, we're going to be healthy. We got Michael Crabtree. We got Amari Cooper. We got Latavius Murray. We got Jalen Richard. This offensive line continues to play really strong football, especially in the passing game. I know we gave up a couple of sacks, but I mean, this is a dominant offensive line, and the sky's the limit. This is a stretch that we're going into where we got the Buffalo Bills, and then we have the Kansas City Chiefs. And anybody who watched that game yesterday, Kansas City Chiefs are for real, guys. They normally are in the regular season, right? That's what Andy Reid's known for. He's a regular season coach. He always has his team up, and they struggle in the playoffs. But this is still a threat. The way that they handled themselves against the Denver Broncos last night, as much as that game probably should have been a tie, there Kubiak going for a 62-yard field goal. He went for that 62-yard field goal because of the Raiders, by the way. He knew that was his opportunity. He couldn't afford to fall behind in the standings with the way that the Raiders are playing, as well as the way the Kansas City Chiefs are playing. I mean, that's a Denver Broncos defense is still a really stout defense. And I was really, really impressed the way that Alex Smith handled that offense. This team's a threat. This team's a threat. We have to be ready for that, and we can't get too far ahead of ourselves and start looking at the Kansas City Chiefs that we'll have in a short week after the Buffalo game. We have to focus on Buffalo. I say it all the time. It's up to Reggie McKenzie, Jack Del Rio, and his coaching staff and these players to focus on the Buffalo Bills. But as a fan and as an analyst, we're allowed to look ahead a little bit. And, the thing I'll say about it is, don't look ahead, guys. Don't worry about the Kansas City Chiefs this week. Just continue to do what it is that you do, which is prepare, play for one another, and go out there and dominate the Buffalo Bills. And I believe that this offense has an opportunity to do that once again, even with a banged up, finger of Derek Carr. He showed his ability to still sling the ball. So it's not an injury that's going to hold him back per se. Hopefully it won't limit him too much under center, like I said, but I can't say enough about this offense. I mean, Derek Carr came out in that first half, and he only missed like 4 passes. He threw for 147 yards. You had Khalil Mack, which we're going to get into in the second half, that really did a lot in this football game. I mean, he really set the tone at the end of the second half and really picked it and ended the game in the last play of the fourth quarter there for our football team. And we'll get into more of that, like I said, in the second half. But this team, man, is just to the base of the mountain, Raider Nation. I mean, since Jack Del Rio, since Reggie McKenzie started building this team, we've been on a journey to get just to the base of the mountain. And when Jack Del Rio came in there last year, he brought us to that base, and we barely just started ascending up the mountain this season. So we're not even to the top yet. We're not even to the top yet, and we're winning football games. We got a great culture. We got a great group of guys. We got an extremely young football team. There's some veterans sprinkled in there, yes, but there's so many rookies playing this season. There's so many undrafted rookies playing this season, and they're doing their job, and they're learning and growing, and they're just going to get better as their career goes on, which I'm going to get into in the back half of the show. There was something I was listening to on 95.7 The Game. I'm going to pose a question to you, Raider Nation, at the end of the show to leave in the comment section what your thoughts are, and I'll get into that in the second half. But that's going to wrap up the first segment of the show. When we get back, we're going to take a look at this defense. I have a lot to say about this defense. I was really, really, really impressed with this defense yesterday, and I'll get into the reasons why here in the second half. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll do just that. It's all right. Stay tuned.
MMM Carpets is celebrating the holidays with a huge inventory clearance sale. We have the best prices and guaranteed installation. Why would you buy anywhere else? Whether you're looking for laminate, vinyl, carpet, tile, or wood, we have it all. Save up to 50% on selected items. Room size rugs, only $69. Visit MMM Carpets at one of our 6 Bay Area locations or call us at 1-800-355-4MMM.
All right, welcome back to the W2W Review. I am the Oakland Knight. Big shout out to the Raider Pirate who's sitting at home trying to figure out some of the technical difficulties we've been having with our internets. So we just want to appreciate Pirate. I also want to start off by saying that too. I wanted to do it in the first segment, but right now it's all about our fallen brother Tim Casto and his family. But I wanted to take some time right now just to thank the Raider Pirate for all the work that he put in over the course of the last 2 weeks. Not just what he was able to do and get together for Tim Casto and the family, but I went on vacation. So this is my first week back after vacation. And while I was gone, Pirate just ran the ship, man. And he did a really great job. He's a great partner. He's a great guy to work with. And I can't thank the guy enough for all the hard work that he's put in to this broadcast, to this channel. And Raider Pirate, you know, from the bottom of my heart, man, I thank you for everything that you do for this channel, for me and my family, for the Raider Nation. This is a really stand-up guy with a ton of integrity, a ton of heart, and I just, my hat, if I was wearing one, sir, would go off to you for everything that you do, like I said, for me and my family, for this channel, for the Raider Nation. You really, really are the heartbeat of this show, and I just wanted to publicly put that out there and thank you, and for allowing me to take that week off and take my daughter to the magical place on earth. I do really, really appreciate it. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this defense. You know, we talk a lot about how suspect this defense looks at times, right? We give up a ton of big plays, whether it's in the running game or the passing game. Sometimes it seems like the pass rush is not where we expected it to be or where we think it should be. But what I saw yesterday was this defense come alive. And this is not the first time we've seen it, but the first half of that football game against Cam Newton, they dominated. They were all over Cam Newton. We had the roughing the passer penalty on Stacey McGee, which we talked about on the halftime show. A little suspect. I didn't think he left his feet. I didn't think he pile drived him into the ground. But I could see where they could throw the flag there, and you know, from a referee perspective, a quick second look on how Stacey McGee took him to the ground. But that inspired them to get up the field, and then Jonathan Stewart had the big run up the middle and gashed us, and that set them up down towards the red zone, and Cam Newton was able to do his things and get in. But outside of that, Cam Newton was absolutely unable to do anything in that first half. Nothing. 18 passing yards. I mean, we had this guy shut down. In fact, when we started the second half, I believe that would have continued. If it hadn't been for Derek Carr getting hurt, I'm telling you, you felt the air leave that stadium. I mean, it wasn't just the fans in the stands. It was the players on the field. That's their quarterback. That's their leader. I'm telling you, that is the heart and soul of this football team. There's not a doubt in my mind. There's not a doubt in my mind that he's the heart and soul of this football team, and it showed up yesterday. And because of the fumbled snap, it really put the defense in a bad situation to start that second half, and Cam Newton was able to capitalize on it with Jonathan Stewart getting it into the end zone. And then our leader came back. He came back on the field after McGloin came in and went 3 and out. And, you know, Carr was pressing a little bit. He was trying to find his rhythm back. I mean, it was a shocking turn of events, and he made a bad decision. He knew the team was down. The momentum had switched, and he was trying to get that momentum back. He made a bad decision. He threw a pick, which once again put this defense in a very, very bad position, and they gave up another 7 points. In my opinion, Cam Newton, through that whole game, was only able to make one key play on this Raider defense, and that was the pass to Ted Ginn. It was like a 75, 85-yard pass to Ted Ginn for a touchdown, which, by the way, all credit to Cam Newton. 6'5", 240, standing up in the pocket, you know, really stood and hung in there and delivered the ball on a dime right into Ted Ginn's hands. man, it was a beautiful play. I'm not going to take any credit away from the Panthers or Cam Newton for that play, but essentially, in my opinion, that was the only real play in that whole game that, outside the Jonathan Stewart run, but that's neither here nor there. But that was the only real strong play this Raider defense really allowed the Carolina Panthers to have that whole game. We talked a lot about heading into this game, how we were going to contain and control Cam Newton. We did just that. This defense, over the course of these last 5 games, has really come alive. And they still might be a little suspect. They might give up the big plays, but this is a scrappy defense, guys. And let's keep in mind, yesterday we had Perry Riley out, who's been a really good added piece to this defense in the middle linebacker position. He really does a good job of lining our players up on defense, and I really, take my hat off to Corey James. I really believe that he stepped in yesterday once again and held it down. How about DJ Hayden? This is a guy that, to me, in my personal opinion, is still suspect, man. I'm not the biggest fan of DJ Hayden, but I'm going to have to give the guy credit. He still does not get his head turned around for the football when he's covering a receiver down the field, but he's really come into his own, so to speak, this season, especially out of the slot. Still don't trust the guy on the outside, but we had no choice. And with that being said, I think he did a stellar job yesterday. Sean Smith, definitely a guy that I expected a little more from this season, but, he did a great job against Benjamin. He's not the dominating corner that I was hoping he would be, but he's doing a solid job. And we were without our best corner, David Amerson, yesterday as well. So we had Perry Riley out. We had Amerson out. We lost Latham in that game. But this defensive line always finding somebody to step up. Stacey McGee's return, like I said, he had the big hit on Cam Newton that he got penalized for, but it's, still Stacey McGee showing his dominance. This defense just does not quit. We talk a lot about this team not quitting, right? We talk about the heart and soul of Derek Carr and how he keeps his composure. What about this defense, man? This defense never lets anything get to them. They stay in the fight. They give up the big run. They give up the big pass play. They get put in bad situations off the fumble and off the interception, and they give up points. They gave up that lead. But not one time did I ever blame the defense, even on that big play. Cam Newton, a guy like Cam Newton, a guy like Ted Ginn, they have that ability. I said it in the halftime report. We had a 17-point lead, and I said we cannot yet call this game a victory. I believed that the Carolina Panthers was that kind of a team that could really get back if the situation presented itself and they got the momentum. They could come back in this football game, and they did. But they primarily did it off a really unfortunate play by Derek Carr, dislocating his pinky finger on his throwing hand, and then the interception when he came back. Outside of that, this defense played an outstanding football game. They really did, scrapping the whole time. Really getting into Cam Newton, closing the pocket, putting him under a lot of pressure. Khalil the Mac, man. This guy played his butt off. 6 tackles, a pick 6, a sack fumble where he recovered the ball well at the end of the game. Khalil Mack played his butt off yesterday. And, the question was asked to me, and I brought this up yesterday as well. Did I believe could Khalil Mack, continue his streak of getting at least a sack a game? And I said, yeah, I believe he could. And it took him to the last play on defense to get that sack. But before that, he had the pick 6, which to me is equivalent to a few sacks, if you ask me, because it was a pick 6. So Khalil Mack continues to shine. And the reason that Khalil Mack is really kind of stepping up his game is because a guy like Bruce Irvin, who got a sack again yesterday, by the way, has really stepped up his game. There's still some areas he can improve on, but he's playing around a lot of young rookie football players across that defensive line and so on. So, the report is that the decision on Aldon Smith will be done this week. I do believe that Aldon Smith will return. Hey, the report might come out as I'm recording this video, but I heard a good analogy this morning on 95.7 The Game where they believe, and it was Lorenzo O'Neal, who said that he believes that Roger Goodell has really taken his time on purpose to kind of basically punish him for that Periscope video. Now, it's speculated, was it him, was it not him, and it doesn't matter what side of the fence you are. Roger Goodell, according to Lorenzo O'Neal, which makes a lot of sense, essentially has taken his time over the course of the last few weeks to kind of extend that suspension, right? So essentially, he's given Aldon Smith a 2-game suspension for that without really giving him a 2-game suspension, right? So all signs to me are pointing to an Aldon Smith return. The question was also asked on that show, will Aldon Smith, play against the Buffalo Bills? Lorenzo Neal says, no, I don't think so. It's going to take him some time to, get his sea legs under him or whatever. But let's keep something in mind. I mean, this is a guy that we signed last season, right? The week of week 1, and they threw him right in there. So he's that type of player that we can throw in there. Do we need to throw him in there? At this point, the way that this defense is playing, scrappy, never giving up, constantly fighting, constantly making plays, especially in the fourth quarter, and giving our offense the opportunity to do what it does. No, I essentially don't feel like we have to implement him, at least on a full-time role against the Buffalo Bills. But Aldon Smith is a guy that you could definitely bring in on situational downs, 2nd and long, 3rd and long, and he could still be an impact this week against the Buffalo Bills. So the sooner they reinstate him, the sooner he can get back to practice and really start to get the football under him. Remember, this is a guy that's played for Ken Norton and played for Jack Del Rio last year. There's not going to be that much of a learning curve. Maybe some of his teammates have to get used to him being on the field, but I think there's a chance if he's reinstated that he could be definitely worst case scenario, a situational guy. But if they chose not to play him against Buffalo, I ain't going to sweat that either, because I do believe he'll definitely be ready to go versus Kansas City once he gets reinstated this week, because I believe he will. So again, I think that's going to be even more of a boost to this defense, which I'm excited about. No word yet on Mario Edwards Jr. I personally think they might try to keep him on the roster leading into the playoffs. Maybe he'll be ready by playoff time. But like Raider Pirate reported earlier this week, or last week, James Casto was brought up and is now part of this roster. And this guy's a pack of dynamite. If you guys remember watching James Casto in the preseason, conditioning might be a problem, but this is a guy, the way that we rotate this defensive line, he doesn't have to come in and be an every down lineman, but you could bring him in along with Aldon Smith in situations, and this guy's a pack of dynamite. He's going to do great things for Bruce Irvin. He's going to do good things when Aldon Smith's implemented it back into this system, which is only going to make Khalil Mack more of a threat. When you look at what Denver does with Ware and Von Miller, this gives us that opportunity with Aldon Smith and a guy like Casto who's fresh-legged, and a pack of dynamite. Mario Edwards Jr. was the guy that we wanted to really lean on to be that threat and that force to kind of help Khalil Mack out. But I believe that James Casto also has that opportunity to be that guy. I'm not going to sit here and claim that he is as good or has the ability of what we've seen from Mario Edwards Jr. from a short-term basis since he's been on this team, but I believe that he brings the type of playmaking ability that could actually set this defense up to another level. But make no mistake about it, as suspect as we can look at this defense being at times, this is one scrappy defense, and they continue to grow. They can continue to shine. Like I said, we lost a couple of really key pieces yesterday. David Amerson and Perry Riley, and then we ended up going down with DJ Hayden. We had to put Kerry out there on the outside. We had to bring Hamilton in there to cover the slot. And you could see that was a big task for Hamilton. He struggled early. He fell down on a play, which took Reggie Nelson off from over the top, and Cam Newton was able to hit another big play down the field. But this team, this defense, this offense, special teams, they have so much heart and so much fight. This team is scary, Raider Nation. I don't think we really realize how scary this team is. And this is where we're going to have to end the show here real quick. But I want to ask you guys this question, and I want you guys to use the comment section down below to give your thoughts. I was listening once again to 95.7 The Game this morning, and they had a question on there. If you were to get a neutral playing field site and you were to put this 2016 Oakland Raider football team and put it up against our 2002 Oakland Raider football team, who would win? Who would win that matchup? I'm just going to give you my brief thought real quick, and I'm going to look for your guys' comments and your guys' opinion down in the comment section below. But I'm going to give it to the 2002 team. They were a veteran team. Gannon was an MVP. You had Jerry Rice, Tim Brown, Rod Woodson, Charles Woodson, Eric Allen. That team was scary. Wheatley, Gardner, Crockett. That team was scary. scary, and they were scary good, and they earned the right. They took us to the Super Bowl, and let's face it, the only reason we lost that Super Bowl was because we faced the guy who built that team. I mean, conspiracy aside, I mean that was tough. That was tough on this offense, but that 2002 team earned that right. Now, I will say this though: as young as our 2016 football team is, it will be better than our 2002 team. So as much as I love that 2002 team, this team will, and I'm going to say it again, will be better than that 2002 football team. It's young, it's dynamic. You know, you're talking about a tale of two different things here. You're talking about an old veteran team that really put it together versus a young team that's really growing and coming up right now. Like I said, they just barely got into this. They just started this run, and it's been incredible. So as much as I believe if you right now today you were to put that 2002 team versus this 2016 team, I'll give it to the 2002 team. But make no mistake about it, this 2016 team will overpass that 2002 football team. In fact, big shout out to Watts Raider. I agree with you, brother. I think you're seeing the makings of the 70s type thing building here. Way too early in the process to fully compare it to the 70 Raiders. But the opportunities there. You got the salary cap issue we got to deal with. So Reggie's going to have to work out some contract deals with guys like Mack, Cooper, Carr to keep this unit together. But there's a lot of potential here for this to be one of the greatest teams that we've ever seen the Raiders build. And that at this point is all I'm focused on. I think it's great. I think it's great for the Raider Nation. I'm excited to see this team continue to grow, continue to play for one another with such heart and such passion and such fight. It's just incredible. It's really incredible. Incredible season by an incredible organization, by an incredible GM, an incredible coaching staff, incredible quarterback, incredible defensive player like Khalil Mack, amazing offensive weapons. I mean, this is a time to shine if you're a member of the Raider Nation. So be proud, pound your chest, get excited. You know, this is going to be a fun ride. We got 5 more games left on the schedule, and I can't wait to see how all this turns out and develops. All right, Raider Nation, with that being said, instead of doing my original thing and giving you guys all the information you guys should already know, where you can find us on Facebook, how to email and contact us, like and subscribe and share these videos. Once again, big shout out to our fallen brother. May you rest in peace, Tim Casto, and much love, thoughts, and prayers to Karen, to Brianna in their tough time. And I encourage you once again, Raider Nation, thank you once again for all the donations, prayers, support, kind words to the family. I talked to Karen this morning. She really appreciates it. And, you know, again, if there's anything that you can do to help this family right now is to continue to go to the Oakland Raider homeport page and leave all the wonderful blessings and prayers to the family. She mentioned to me it's really keeping her strong, and she really appreciates it. Not only her and her daughter, but her entire family was really moved by what the Raider Nation was able to do for them. So I encourage you to do that. Also, the GoFundMe link is still on that page, and she could really continue to use the help. So if it's in your heart, it's in your will, and you have the ability to continue to donate $1, $5, $10, $20, whatever you can to kind of help this family put him to rest, would be highly appreciated. It's time for us to continue to show our integrity, Raider Nation, to show that why we're a family, why we're the greatest fan base in the NFL. So from the Will to Win broadcast, from Karen, from Brianna, to you, thank you guys so much for everything that you've done, and let's continue to show the family support, love, prayers, you name it. I'm just proud to be a member of this Raider Nation, and I thank you guys. All right, guys, until tomorrow, I am the Oakland Knight, and you stay Raider strong. Peace.
And that's why they call me